What is going on, people? Welcome to Starling on Cinemas, and that's Cinemas with an S. And today I'll be giving you my review on Ant-Man as part of the Infinity Saga rewatch in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, if you're new to this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, the usual. Leave a comment on the section below, and most importantly, watch me. Now, let's get into it. So, Ant-Man, taking place after Avengers: Age of Ultron. Hank Pym gets forced out of his own company, Pym Tech, by the former protege named Darren Cross. Hank Pym recruits the talents of Scott Lang, who is a master thief just released from prison. Lang becomes Ant-Man, trained by Pym and armed with a suit that allows him the astonishing ability to shrink at about half an inch in size, possess superhuman strength, and control an army of ants. The miniature superhero must use his new skills to prevent Cross, also known as Yellowjacket, from perfecting the same technology and using it as a weapon for evil. Now, what do I have to say about the story of Ant-Man? Well, first of all, if there's one thing we could all ask for after the heavy event of Avengers: Age of Ultron, because it was a lot, it is something a little smaller and a little laid back, and this is what we got. The final film in Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Ant-Man is the movie that we all needed that provided the MCU with a much lighter tone with subatomic stakes. Ant-Man introduces microscience into the franchise while being the first movie in the Infinity Saga to have comedy as its more dominating aspect. Now, before I begin, I say it more dominating. Like, comedy stands out a little more in this one than it actually does, since that's what Paul Rudd is known for. But like, every MCU movie has great comedy. Because, like, according to Kevin Feige, they said the best comedy with their movies is, like, the kind you don't even expect coming. Like, whether it's a side joke or a throwaway line or something that a character does, it's always something nobody expects. And that's why their comedy usually works in these movies. Now, Ant-Man is not just a superhero flick, but a superhero flick masquerading as a heist movie, y'all. This is one of the few instances in Phase 2, like I said, just like The Winter Soldier, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, just like Civil War, every movie is different. Like, Ant-Man is not like Guardians of the Galaxy, or Black Panther is not like the Spider-Man franchise. They're all different in their own unique territories. Now, while Avengers: Age of Ultron didn't necessarily have ramifications to impact this character in his world like most MCU films would, Scott Lang becoming Ant-Man is a crucial moment in the MCU and will make him a key role in the long run. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. This is also a story about passing the baton, and I'm sure we all could have figured this out. Figured the gist of this movie, that the point of Hank Pym doing this is to pass the suit down to someone who is eligible to use it, because he's been using it for so long. Even if he wanted to fight, one, he's too old. He's like in his 90s at this time. He's retired. And two, it's affected his brain chemistry. It's affected his brain cells. So it seems like the longer you wear the Ant-Man suit, or when you shrink, it does something to your brain cells, like make you feel tired. And I guess that's why Scott, whenever he grows big, he kind of feels a little tired and weary and nauseous and dizzy, because it's the brain chemistry coming from the helmet. Now, the thing that makes Scott Lang qualified for taking up the Ant-Man mantle is that he's a thief, like the synopsis said. The reason why Hank Pym even wants Scott is because he's a master thief. He can break through the unbreakable. Like, did y'all see that? Did y'all see the scene? I know y'all love that scene where he was breaking into Hank Pym's house, and that was part of his plan. He knew that he would have to improvise and execute clever strategies to get past locked doors and heavy safes made from the same metal as the Titanic. So Hank wants to use that skill to his advantage to take back the particles from Darren Cross. Now, ironically, ants are naturally good at this too. Like, if you think about it, how many times do you see ants break into your house and steal your food, your money? I'm just kidding. But how many times have you seen ants break into your house and steal all the food they can get without being detected? See, that's what I thought. Now, the characters. First of all, when Paul Rudd was casted as Ant-Man, this had fans scratching their heads, because Paul Rudd was a complete stranger to these comic book adventure movies. He's notorious for his more romantic comedy films like the Anchorman franchise and Dinner for Schmucks and Friends. So Ant-Man was way out of his league at this time. And the reason I named all that is because those are the only things I've seen of Paul Rudd in. There was I seen him in This Is 40, right? These are I'm naming Paul Rudd movies that I've seen. I've seen This Is 40, Dinner for Schmucks, Anchorman 1 and 2, and I think I've seen him on Friends one time. So Paul Rudd proved us all wrong with this role by adding the same charm and comedic chops that he has in his romantic comedies already. The casting is even fitting because the character context of Ant-Man sounds more funny than serious. Like if you heard the name The Incredible Hulk, you'd be intimidated. But if you hear Ant-Man, you'd be laughing. The other thing that makes Scott Lang so compelling and different is that he's also a parent. He's the first MCU hero that is a parent, obviously, and does whatever it takes to see his daughter again. And this opportunity offers him the chance to get that look in his daughter's eyes, like they've been saying. It's a classic line. I don't know. We also get a lot of great supporting characters played by comedy actors, from Michael Pena to Bobby Cannavale to Judy Greer, you name it. We even get a cameo from Falcon, to remind us that Ant-Man is still in the same franchise with all these other Avengers. For those of you, because usually one of the things that Marvel does that I like is that they know that there are certain moviegoers that won't see everything, that they may start watching the MCU at a certain movie, so they'll always place a reference that has been repeated in the previous film. Like, if you didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy and you don't know anything about Infinity Stones, Infinity War would have still explained it for you. That's a little example for you. But the concept of passing the baton started with Hank Pym to Scott Lang. This aspect would go on to be a prominent MCU trope, like Captain America passing his shield down to Sam Wilson, Iron Man passing his technology to Spider-Man, T'Chaka passing the mantle of King to T'Challa, and the list goes on. Speaking of passing the baton, we get a little hint at Hope Van Dyne becoming the Wasp. You see, throughout the film, Hope has complained about not being able to fight and help, but the time was not right for her just yet. Now, to be honest, that haircut really gave it away, considering that's her hairdo in the comics with that Willy Wonka hairstyle. You know what I'm talking about. But prior to Ant-Man, we received one of the coolest MCU villains of Phase 2, which is Ultron. Still like him. He was intimidating in the trailers. The way the trailers promoted him was more serious and dangerous, but he's actually funny in that movie. However, the double negative here is Darren Cross has the goal of world domination, so-called, with the help of a Yellowjacket suit, which is just a ripoff of the Ant-Man suit since they both shrink. And this is one of the few instances where the villain is basically a darker reflection of the hero, like Hulk and Abomination, Iron Man, Ironmonger, Thor, Loki. Just an evil reflection of the hero. That's all. Rotten Tomatoes gives it an 83% score. Marvel Studios' Ant-Man is an adventure worth every tiny minute, with fun action, solid comedy, and yet another layer of the MCU added to it. So for that, I would definitely give it 8.3 SOs out of 10 as well. So that is my review on Marvel's Ant-Man. You can let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below, if you liked it better than the sequel or not. But I'll see you next time with my next video. Bye.